What's going on, everybody? Mezariah here, back with another video. And today's video, I wanted to get into something important, like always. This video is about not reacting. Do not react to the enemy because we are in a time, in a season of judgment, in the midst of judgment, and we don't want to ruin things for ourselves, right? We don't want to go back to the old things that we been delivered from, that we came from, that we worked so hard to get out of. And I think there is we tend to get cocky. We tend to get haughty about our walk with Christ, and we can boast in affliction, right? We can boast in affliction because we know that Christ will deliver us out of every affliction. And but it's important to not be prideful and to be humble about everything, to let things go. And some things have happened to me privately that I will not discuss, and I've been betrayed once again. But what do? I go to Christ. It hurt me a little bit, but then I pray about it, and I pray for the person that did afflict me. And we have to remember those principles, right? So, I was thinking about a verse in Proverbs 26:11. It says, what does it say? The exact verse. As a dog returns to his vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. So I looked at that and I was like, if if I go back to my vomit, for me personally, my vomit would be the anger. My folly would be the anger that I will fall into, because foolish men are easily tempered, are easily angered, and we have to be so aware, because when you are in anger, when you are in wrath, you're bound to do anything, and just from that one event, that one moment, everything can come crashing down. And God typically warns me every ounce of the way, like every step of the way, that I should be walking with wisdom. And the crazy thing about that is, when you are returning to your folly, you have to remember that it's not just you uh, going back to that folly. It's typically connected to that person that brings out that folly. So just like on my other videos, I always say, stay away from people. I'm not saying you can't be amongst the people that you're supposed to be, but certain people that don't exhibit the fruits of the spirit, you cannot be around, because they can anger you so easily, and they can get you out of character, and they can make you start over from square one. So people are typically at the other end of that vomit that God warns us about, that folly, because the people bring that out of you. Now it's up to you if you let them bring it out of you. But you have to beware. If you know a person triggers you, if you know a person has the power to control you, and if you're not wise and mature, you have to stay away from them. Even if you feel like you're so wise and mature, you have to be wise about every interaction, because the enemy is so cunning. And that's why it's so perfect to walk in true security of who you are. Because when you are insecure, you will be offended. You will be easily offended, and you're liable to crash out. You're liable to lose your temper. Liable to be in wrath. And quite recently, somebody did something to me, and they did something in a way that's like, I don't know what you were aiming for, or you know what I mean, but I can't let it affect me. And it was I feel like it was something that it would have hurt a lot of different people. But the way God has built me up, it's like, okay, I am who I am. I've been through this before. Why go through the emotions? You know what I mean? So you have to be so strong in your walk with Christ. You have to remember the things that He wants us to do. He doesn't want us to fall into that same trap. He doesn't want us to fall into that same way that we've been delivered, that mindset that we've been delivered from, because it costs us so much. We have so much to lose, and To a lot of people out here that don't have anything to lose. They don't care about their principles. They don't care about their morality. They don't care about their self-worth, you know? And it's sad to say because so many of us don't even see the bigger picture in all of this, and they're willing to hurt people that come in their lives and do so much for them. They're willing to do that, and we are in those times. People that are lovers of themselves, just like I say in First Timothy, people that are lovers of themselves, and you know you have to be able to be strong because how many times have you gone through a person doing you, messing you over? You know what I mean? Are you willing to crash out over the 25th person after you've been through it 24 times? You know what I mean? So it's like that would be unwise. It would be wise for you to be strong and be resilient and know that everything happens together for those who love Christ and are called according to his purpose, or those who love God according to his purpose. I think that's what it says in the Bible. And that's Romans 8:28. And um it's such a disheartening thing to just have to experience things like that. But you have to remember that we are here to do business for the kingdom. We're not here to be set back 20 years to start all over and learn lessons that we already learned. You know what I mean? We've been through these things. We can't allow the enemy to come in and just destroy everything in one single moment. And God constantly shows me, no matter how much I come up here and talk about stuff like this, no matter how much I'm adamant about things like this, he constantly warns myself to not fall into the trap of the enemy. Because as much as I am talking about this, I get warned repeatedly. He doesn't want me to open any door. He doesn't want the enemy to try to accuse me of anything, because when the enemy thinks he has a hold on you, he'll try every step of the way. He'll try to put things in your way, put things in your path to make you mess up. And he knows what he's doing, of course. But I have to stay perfect. I have to be in that realm of obedience, that realm of peace. I can't let anybody come in between my peace with the Creator, with Yah. He said, "Let our peace be still," and that is one of my favorite commands that God tells us to do, is let our peace be still, because it's so true. Because when you let your peace be still, that means you're having faith that God will handle everything. And I think that's probably one of the biggest spiritual laws that I ever seen manifest into my life. The minute I let something go, I let the peace be still in me. I see God work so easily. It's so fun to witness, and it just encourages you to keep moving forward with positivity, with peace, no matter what you're seeing in the spirit regarding someone, no matter what you're dealing with in the physical regarding other people. Just know how to move in the peace that God gave you. And he gave us so much peace. He gives us so much peace and understanding of why we should move the way we're supposed to move, because he is a respecter of no person. If he wants you to learn something, he will send you to the back of the line, and then you have to start all over. And and I also want to to reiterate that we should always pray for those who despitefully use us. We're told to do that. And that's some of the hardest thing. That's one of the hardest things to do, is to pray for someone that just betrayed you, that just slighted you. But you have to understand the spiritual aspect of this. You have to understand all of this is spiritual. If you want to truly heal, you'll be intentional. The things that is hard for you to do, you do it. The thing that is hard for you to do, just bite your tongue and do it. And push through it. So there are a lot of people that are just being exposed in this time, and it's sad. You know, it's sad. A lot of people don't realize that we are in it for the long run. We are in it for the long run. I don't understand why people think that they can do these small temporary things that think that's going to shake us up and then we're just gonna crack under pressure. We some of us already knew that the things that we were going through by the hands of by the hands of other people, but we didn't really say anything. And they think they got the upper hand. They always think they got the upper hand. They always think they are 2 steps ahead, 5 steps ahead. They're never 5 steps ahead. The devil is not wiser than God. So it's so crazy to experience it in live, and God is exposing it through our dreams, through our visions, through signs that we see in the physical. It's like you would think that people would catch on to your resilience, to your true nature, and to your honest nature, your pure nature, and they don't get it. So when they think they're doing things right, they are fooling themselves. They're deceiving themselves, because the minute when it's time for me to expose, or to, I'll say, receive the things that God has shown me about particular people, anybody, that it's not going to be fun for them, because then they realize they fumbled a good person. They'll realize that they played themselves. See, when you're willing to do people dirty for temporary pleasure, it doesn't you're not a person that knows how to heal quickly. Because we do the work, believers in God, believers in Christ, we are able to heal quickly. We're not even worried about the things in the past that just happened. No matter how big the betrayal is, we're not worried about it. And it just continually shows me that how real God is, because while you think that you're hurting someone, or if you don't even care that you're hurting someone, here I am, healed and renewed within an hour, or 2 hours, or a day. You know what I mean? While when you get blown, when you get that blowback, that reaping with you what you sow, you'll be in that for some time. You know what I mean? Because you don't understand the power of Yah. You don't understand the power of God. You're operating in devilish ways, and it's sad to see. It's sad. It's a sad thing to witness, but it is what it is. A lot of us get played, but we never really get played. You know what I mean? Because when you have a pure heart, people that operate in purity know this. Like, you can never play me if I wanted to do that. If I wanted to help you, if I wanted to do these things, because I know the Father, I know the Creator. So we can never get played, even when they think we got played. We don't. But don't react to the simple things, even if you want to lightly scold someone. And that's what God warned me about. He doesn't even want you to lightly scold anyone about what they did, because that can open a door, and it can grow, and it can grow, and it can grow. Leave it alone. No matter how big the issue is, no matter how big the problem has risen, because God has been training us for so long about this, because these are things that can trigger us so easily. Remember, before we was reborn, before we were like on that path of righteousness, every little thing could trigger us. We was provoked, but we shouldn't have been triggered that easily by people, because they had control over us. Our insecurities had control over us, and they no longer do. And there's so many different spirits operating through different people. Through new people that you meet, but these are familiar spirits. These are people that you know that are opened up to the enemy. Their soul is opened up to the enemy, and they think they are, or they have the upper hand, and they get silent. What happens is they get really silent, and they don't allow the reflection to take place that they need to take. They get really silent, but they start getting cowardly. You know what I mean? They start running, in a sense, and it's like the enemy is just so crafty and so wicked that they don't care who they hurt. The enemy and his demons, and the people that are used by those spirits, they don't care. They don't care that they hurt other people, no matter what is brought to them, no matter what information or facts are given to them to prove to them how much you hurt them. But it is what it is. You got to understand the enemy plays on our emotions. He wants us to be sad. He wants us to be broken, and we cannot allow the enemy to get us to a place that we left. People gonna keep doing what they do. It's all about who you are made to be, who you were created to be, who your Father is in heaven. And if you allow the enemy to dictate who you are through your emotions by any means, you're showing God that you don't want his validation. You don't want his 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 love to be upon you, because why? You should know this by now. Actually, we should know these principles. We should know these things. We've been through it time and time again, and I'm talking for myself as well, because I even thought about reacting in a way. I told myself I wanted to react lightly to this, but sometimes reacting lightly would even give the enemy a way to accuse us. He'll try. The minute he sees something, he sees it all, that the things that you go through, he tries to use it against you, and he wants to open the door bigger and bigger. That door could be cracked just a smidgen, and that one little thing could crack that door wide open, and by whatever you do. That's why, like, God, when I'm asleep, God will show me how important of a dream is. This morning I woke up, and I always get these strong pits in my stomach when I wake up from a dream that is negative. That is a strong indicator that God is warning me about something, to not fall into a trap, especially when something prior happened to that dream, where I was slighted, or I was disrespected or betrayed in any way, or however, whatever affliction. And he will show me right when I go to sleep, however long in between that time of me being afflicted and me going to sleep, he will show me what is to come if, I don't pray against these things, if I don't, you know, walk the path that I'm supposed to walk, and change the mindset, renew my mind in the way that I'm supposed to renew it. And he will show me so literally in the spirit while I'm dreaming, and then I'll wake up and I'll have this big feeling in my stomach, like, oh man, I can't deal with it. I can't allow the enemy to cause me to go left. And that's what will happen. So it is what it is. Leave it alone. Let it go. And I think I'm gonna do a second part of, elaborating on what I really mean to let it go. And I'm gonna give an example of how letting go gets you the answers, and it gives you the peace. So yeah. I'm out, guys. That's it. That's all. I'll be back with another video. May God be with you. I want y'all to pray on this word, and to see if it's really for you, because this is a word that I felt that was on my heart. I'm not going to sit here and say that it was just for particular people or particular group or this or that. Pray on it and see if this is for you. This is more of an encouraging word. You know what I mean? To help you understand the specifics of what the trajectories of where you can go in life if you don't pay attention and focus. You see what I'm saying? And I'm out, guys. So I'll be back with another video.